had a friend that had gotten a job at UCO, and his name's Craig Bouchard, and he's been there a long time, heading up graphic design for the university. And I was always, a fan, and continued to be a fan of the OSU sports. And I hadn't really thought about the university as a place of employment, at least in terms of what I wanted to do. And when you're sitting there collecting unemployment for a little while, and you're trying to send out resumes and think about it, it just struck me that hey, what about OSU? Let me see what they've got involved, because again, it's that pull of Stillwater,
for sure,
and that magnet to come back to your roots. And so there was an opening in their public information office, which is kind of the PR side of things. And I got a job and commuted for a year with another gentleman who lived in Edmond, and kind of got back to OSU, and have been there ever since. So again, once it kind of gets their hooks in you, and I wasn't ever a job hopper just to try and move up a ladder, just to have a title or things like that. I'm very content kind of doing what I do and trying to do the best job I can, and be a little more of a worker bee on that side. But I'm able to do some creative work, and I started to do the general university marketing, but then that was about the time that they renovated Gallier-Iba Arena into the full athletics center with the expanded capacity. And so I got to help with some of the communication and fundraising on raising the money to make this, ambitious project happen, and was able to kind of worm my way into the athletic department as far as, a person who could bring the skills of the graphic design and some of the writing and the communication side of it. So have been with the athletic department since 1998, so a long time.
I bet you've seen some great things over the years. Then.
It's fun. It's one of those that you tell people, everybody likes sausage, but nobody wants to see how it's made. But there's some really cool things about kind of being behind the scenes, and you take it for granted after a while that you see Olympic champions and people walking through the halls, and you have some experiences that not everybody could get, or a lot of fans would really kill for. Some of the access opportunities. The downside is that it's a business, and sometimes friends get laid off or fired for coaches either leave on their own or get asked to leave, or there's things that happen. But again, working at a university and that kind of the youthfulness of it, and seeing kind of the just the vibe of being in a college town and being part of that kind of keeps you young, and kind of keeps my creative juices flowing as well.
I mean, for me, thinking about, and I learned this from previous guest Elise, who wrote Bullet for a couple of years, that I didn't realize that the athletic department logos and licensing is separate to the university licensing, right? So you got all the Pistol Pete's, so where the golf one, all these other things. So that must be interesting to navigate for, it keeps you busy, obviously. You got all these other versions of Pete, right? And then always all these other logos going on, which is great. And then for me, from a golf side, like you've got, Hovland, Matt Wolff, Ricky Fowler, the list goes on. There's some epic, from Europe, you got Alex Noren, and Charles Howell's obviously an American, but the Oklahoma State athletic side of things is far and wide, not just in golf, which is, as a fan of the university, must be awesome for you to watch. Yeah,
it's really cool. And you talk about the branding of it, and OSU, I teach a sports marketing class along with Jesse Martin. We kind of co-teach, and we taught for about 10 years. And one thing that we talk a lot about is our branding at the university. And OSU's not always done everything the best in the right way, and we've maybe got too many versions out there. If you look at OU, they're very solid in their branding, and they maybe had a tweak to the OU interlocking OU one time, and they've kind of gone away from it. But everybody knows the one on their helmet is, and that's who they are. OSU has had brands, for baseball, for different sports. The one that Barry Sanders wore is, kind of the retro logo now. But we were a little bit all over the place, and so it's no wonder that there might have been confusion between Oregon State and us, and I think it's gotten better in the last probably decade or so, and even the last couple years, it's kind of refined. The university used to have the academic branding, and that was very separate, like you were saying. And now the university uses the OSU because, the OU Med School doesn't have a different logo than the football team. But it's the University of Oklahoma. And so now, our med school and our departments academically are lined up with our football team, so that when somebody sees the Fiesta Bowl and they see us beat Notre Dame, they're familiar and they know that's Oklahoma State. And oh, by the way, the university is the same. So there's a lot of alignment there that's important.